Hello everyone, and welcome to our look at the Dragon Army in a game of Fantasy Clash. Everyone loves dragons in fantasy, so let's see what we have in our game. As always, I'll start with the core choices, picking any 10 to start out of the 5 different types. Remember, each type of core card has 4 cards. We'll start with the Drakes. These young dragons are not fully grown yet, and that's reflected in their stats. However, they still have a place in the battlefield, and that's because of their scout ability. You want to use these guys to reveal your opponent's hidden cards so you can better plan out your strategy. Next, we have the Fireswarm. These cards serve as a distraction, as their swarm ability and size score makes them difficult to hit, forcing your opponent to spend time getting them out of his way. The Landworm has no special abilities, but its attack, defense, and size are all considerably high for a core combat coward. These guys are going to have an advantage going up against most other core cards, and will still give your opponent pause when dealing with them. The Serpent Dragon is weaker than most, but it's fastest moving card in the game. Its specials of Fly and Extra Move allow it to move up to 3 spaces per turn. This allows you to use it to support or block quickly, no matter where it's currently in the battlefield. Finally, we have the Water Dragon. Similar to the Landworm, it has no special abilities, but its base stats are not as good. So why take it? Well, dragons are very susceptible in the magic phase, but the Water Dragon's magic score of 5 gives it a bit of extra protection from magic attacks that the rest of the dragon core choices do not have. We have 4 different types of card, with 3 cards of each type. First up, we have the Blue Dragon. Not as strong as his fellow veteran cards, the Blue Dragon is the only one with a range score of more than 1. So he acts very much like a mobile war machine. He can use hit and run tactics to cause damage deep into your opponent's lines. The Green Dragon is up next. Unlike his compatriots, he does not have the fly ability. He's a big lumbering bulk with high defense, so tough to get off the battlefield. Which is even more annoying for your opponent, as he has the poison ability, causing plenty of potential damage to the cards around it. The Red Dragon is your offensive unit. He needs to be on the attack, using his fire to cause more damage when attacking. His big size score and defense rating of 13 means there's no slouch in defense either, but they are best utilized in offensive capacity. Lastly, we have the White Dragon. One of the weaker cards, they're instead used as your healers. Still no slouch in combat, you want to leave that job to others. With a lack of any auxiliary cards, the White Dragons are your only chance at keeping your other forces on the field of play. The more you have, the more chance you have of successfully healing. Now we transition over to the elite choices, starting with the monstrous Black Dragon. Easily the best non-character card in the game, these are great in attack and defense, so it's a no-brainer then. Well, maybe not. Their untrusted ability is actually negative. It provides a negative debuff for the rest of the dragon army. And this stacks as well, so the more Black Dragons, the worse for the rest of the army. But then again, you might not need the rest of the army. The Fire Elemental is next. A very aggressive attacking unit. With a very high attack score, it's going to be hard for anything to survive its attack. A bit more vulnerable in defense though, so you have to be careful. However, it's also got some magic resistance, which gives it a bit more protection from magical attacks than the other dragons. Finally, we look at the Gold Dragon. Good all-round stats, but it's the charge bonus that sets it apart, making it much more dangerous in attack. Unlike other cavalry though, they can be susceptible to counterattacks. Its fly ability and defense of 15 makes it a lot more resilient to any incoming attacks. Like all armies, the dragons have 2 heroes and 3 champions to pick from. You start the battle with 1 of each. Ghidorah, the 3-headed dragon, is first up. More of a defensive unit, however all the stats are pretty solid, so it's going to prove difficult combat for any card that comes up against him. The alternative is Carnage. He's better in every way stats-wise and not much can stand up to him in the field of battle. However, just like his Black Dragon brethren, he is untrusted. This causes debuffs to the rest of the army, and even if Carnage is wreaking havoc on the battlefield, he can't be everywhere at once, so you could be exposed elsewhere. Sky Hunter is the first champion choice we'll look at. His stats are pretty good for a champion card, but he also has the Killing Blow ability, which means he will always be in with a chance of winning a combat, no matter what your opponent rolls. Smeargle is next on the list. He also has good all-round stats, with a touch more emphasis on defense than Sky Hunter. However, as mentioned before, dragons do not do well in the magic phase, but Smeargle is immune to magic. He might not be the best card in your deck, but he's not going to be shot out of the sky by a pesky wizard. Finally, we come to Safin Whitewind, another white dragon healer. She will keep your cards fighting in the battle. She also won't be easy to snipe like other traditional healing cards. She also buffs other white dragons as an added bonus. And as all the other decks, we have a Titan card, Tiamat, and a Legend, Bahamut. These are the most powerful cards in the game, but they don't start in the battle. You have to get them in by playing a reinforcement. So the more reinforcements you get, the more chance you have of getting these game-changing cards on the field of battle. You might have noticed that dragons have pretty high stats compared to other races. This is true, but they have no auxiliary cards like magic items or magic spells, so they're much weaker in that phase of the game. I hope you enjoyed your look at the dragon army. Until next time, hope you enjoy the game.